In our quest to break up the right side of this, we've got chat header, we've got message list, we've got individual messages. Now we just need this form at the bottom, right? So let's make a new component called MessageForm. Capital M message, capital F form.js. Now this time I think we need a class. Because although there are several ways of dealing with form data in React, the most common and, dare I say, best way involves storing the form data in state. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I will import both React and component from React. And I will actually make a class called MessageForm that extends component, which means I need a render method. The render method needs to return some JSX. I'm going to make something with a class of MessageForm, but this time instead of a div, I'm going to make it an actual form. Why not? Excuse me? Right, right. Export default MessageForm. We're not going to put state in here just yet, but yeah, ultimately we're going to be using this.state, which is why we had to make a class. So inside our form, let's go ahead and put an input and a button. I'll make an input. Type equals text, that's fine. I'm going to have quite a few props on here, so go ahead and break it up into multiple lines. Type equals text. Name equals body. That's what this is, right? You're typing the message body in here. Go ahead and put a placeholder. Equals type a message. My Boolean props I'll put at the beginning instead of at the end. So if you want this to autofocus in React, autofocus is camel cased. Auto capital F focused. And we may as well make it required. We talked about required in the other project, right? It's the required in there. No sense in submitting a message form in which you have typed nothing. So autofocus and required. What does it do? It won't let you submit the form unless you put something in it. Yep, just what it sounds like. Yeah. Placeholder does not, interestingly enough. And then let's put a button. It'll say send. And I'll go ahead and put type equals submit on there. That is the default for buttons that appear inside a form, but we'll be explicit about it. Button type equals submit. So here's this component. Paste it into Slack. And we can go ahead and import it into where? Where do I want to import this? Chat, right? It should be right after message list. You could do it that way. You could import it at the end of message list, but I think it makes more sense to think of, instead of thinking of this as like the bottom of message list, think of it as the bottom of the whole right pane. So we'll import message form from /message form. And we'll just put it in here right after message list. So my chat component is actually really, really simple. I've got chat header, message list, and message form. And that's it. That's what I like to see. I like to see components that are just composed of other components. And only when you get down to something that has data of its own to manage do you need to ever see state or any of that stuff. Yep.
So ever have to fix something within like chat box or the message inbox or something like that, do they just have to go to the components?
It's likely that they do, yeah. It's likely that they did it that way.
And then like when you go back to the, for example, chat here where they have like all the components, they just don't have to like mess with that at all.
Depending on what the problem is, but yeah. If you're due, the nice thing about components, you probably know just which file to go to fix the problem, and it's likely that you won't have to touch anything else, but it depends, of course, on what the problem is.
It's all for modularity.
Right. So it's a nice thing. So cool. What do we do here? Add MessageForm component.
So if we weren't going to add anything to this right now, could this be changed into a function? This class?
Hold that thought.